Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of What CD is Rob listening to? And this time we go to 1995 and Sammy Hagar's final studio album with Van Halen and my personal favorite, Balance. Now, you may be thinking I mean my personal favorite from the Sammy era, but, and this will anger some David Lee Roth purists out there, this is actually my favorite Van Halen album. It has everything that was ever good and great about the band, and it's clearly evident on the album's opening cut, The Seventh Seal, which I believe was to be the title of the album, but they decided to go with Balance instead. The song is a hard rocker with guitars that just scream, a rhythm section that keeps proving why they were always one of the best, and a vocal performance that many other singers have got to be jealous of. Sammy Hagar was damn good, and no matter how many times I hear this song, I still get goosebumps. The next track, Can't Stop Loving You, is not only one of my top 5 favorite Van Halen songs, it may be, in fact it is, my favorite power ballad of all time. The vocals are just sang so beautifully with such an incredible melody that even the incredible music can't outdo the performance of Sammy here. Such a wonderful vocal performance, and those patented Van Halen harmonies are definitely in evidence as well. If you listen to this song and you don't think Sammy Hagar is one of the greatest singers of all time, then you just aren't really listening to him. It's just an amazing song, and the parts that Eddie's playing here are just perfect. I can think of no other word for them, just perfect. This track is music at its best to my ears. In fact, while taking these notes, I had to listen to this song 3 times. It's just such a great song. The next track, Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do, is another melodic hard rocker, as only Van Halen could do. The music on the verses sort of foreshadow the beautiful vocal melody of the chorus. Another song that proves just what a great singer Sammy has always been. The band is tight here, and Eddie is once again playing guitar that just serves the song so well. Even when he throws in tasty licks under the vocals, he's always done it in a way that definitely doesn't take over the spotlight. But when it comes time to solo, he does take the gloves off, and he turns something that was always inventive and just perfect in for the tune. This song has 2 really cool solos that prove that fact in every possible way. One is a bit more reserved, and the other is just a soul-crushing metal solo. Just love it. Amsterdam, the album's 4th track, is a tune about Eddie and Alex's birthplace. This song is an all-out rocker with guitars, bass, and drums laying down a heavy song for Sammy to deliver his masterful vocals over. Though the wham bam part is a bit pedestrian lyrically, it's still such a really cool hard rocking tune. Big Fat Money is a fun track. It starts off with a bit of goofiness before kicking into a guitar solo with some non-lyrical stuff thrown in there. Not quite as annoying as the David Lee Roth stuff, but The song is a quick sort of rap vocal-led track. It's definitely out of place on this disc, which I think is why I like it so much. They got out and experimented and had a little fun, and I just think that this track is a lot of fun. Strung Out is next, and the first of 3 instrumental tracks on this album. To be perfectly honest, I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. It sounds like I'm caught in some kind of horror movie with somebody kind of coming up behind me. I have to keep checking to make sure I'm not going to get murdered. Weird tune. I enjoy it, but just kind of weird. Thankfully, though, it is brief and leads into Not Enough, a song that perhaps had the band hoping for another hit in a beautiful ballad. The piano here is just amazing, with a vocal being delivered by Sammy that could almost bring a person to tears. It's a very simple ballad, but I love it. The instrumentation, the orchestration, the melody of the vocals, the guitar solo, it all adds up to a fantastically written Van Halen tune. Aftershock brings back the rock with perhaps one of my favorite guitar effects from Eddie. I love the sound of his guitar on this track, and that echoey sort of sound that only Van Halen could pull off flawlessly shows up here. It's a hard rocking tune with the entire band turning in a killer performance while Sammy sings his heart out, as only Sammy can do. This tune could have felt right at home on the previous album, but it takes on sort of a crunchier, heavier vibe that puts it right at home on this album. Some great drumming shows up in the song, as well as an amazing bass performance from Michael Anthony, who sadly, this is his last full album with the band as well. He does show up in the next one, but for only a few tracks, so enjoy your Michael Anthony bass here, because with Van Halen, it's coming to an end. Doing Time is another brief instrumental interlude, but this time instead of a very horror movie feel, we get a very percussive drum feast. There are some really cool sounds and rhythms here. Absolute proof that Alex Van Halen is, and always was, one of the best drummers on the planet. It's a very cool way to lead into the album's main instrumental track, and I know I'm not going to pronounce this right, but whatever. Malacotherium? This is what you would expect from a Van Halen instrumental. The effects on the drums, the shredding guitars, the bassist sort of holds the entire thing together like glue. Even the gritty sounding ones, the gritty sounding bass licks, I just love them. And there's plenty of melodic melodies here. This may be one of the best instrumentals of all time, in my opinion. Take Me Back is another melodic rocking beauty, kicking in with some acoustic guitar and a beautiful vocal melody from Sammy. When the full band kick in with bass, drums, and electric guitar, Sammy still keeps the same vocal vibe until the chorus. The chorus with its reflective lyrics really convey a feeling of longing for the easier days of the past. And while there's some vocal effects I don't think quite work, overall this is a nice song and one of the better tunes on an already incredible album. The final track here, Fillin', starts off as a bit of a ballad. The instrumentation is more quiet and reserved and played under a beautiful vocal from Sammy before the band kick into high gear and turn this one into another hard-rocking melodic tune. It's another great song from an album full of them. I love the tone of the guitar here, and the drums take on that sort of echo vibe that only Van Halen can deliver. And as a final track on Sammy's last album with the band, he sings like he almost knew it. Such a killer tune from the band and the vocalists, and as always, we're treated to another blistering guitar solo. The ending of the track has an almost epic fill with the strings and just really elevating that section of the song. And, well, that ends my favorite Van Halen album, Balance. Sammy would show up on the Twister soundtrack doing my absolute favorite Van Halen song, Humans Being, and then there's a few tracks on the Best of Both Worlds compilation that came out after a brief Roth reunion. But otherwise, this would end Sammy Hagar's run with the band, which is such a shame because 4 just flawless, amazing albums came out of this era of the band. And, well, sadly with the passing of Eddie, we will never hear them try it again. But who knows what the future holds for the rest of the band. I guess we'll wait and see. But like I said, this is my favorite Van Halen album. Creepy album cover, though. Really creepy. But fantastic album, amazing music, and the end to a perfect chapter in one of hard rock and classic rock's greatest acts. Until next time, when I return with Gary Cherone, toodles.